Hello everyone, welcome back. We are at Cooking with Dee Dee, and I am Dee Dee. Forgot who I was for a minute. And today we are going to be making good old southern greens. Ladies, I strongly recommend that you look at my other videos to make the ultimate meal to seal the deal. Okay, I've got the fried chicken video, I've got the cornbread video, I've got the mac and cheese video. This with the greens, girls, you are going to seal the deal. You know, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. It worked for me. I think it worked for you. All right, let's get started. I'm going to show you the ingredients. Oops, quick disclaimer. Rewind a little bit. Ladies, if you do not want to seal the deal, do not make this meal. I'm telling you right now, if your man tastes this, he's going to want to put a ring on it, okay? So, make it for your family, your friends, or whatever. But again, if you do not want to seal the deal, if you do not want that ring on your finger, if you like living the single life, do not make these, okay? These greens are mean. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now let me run you through the ingredients. The first thing that you will need are the greens. I use a combination of mustard greens, turnip greens, and collard greens. At the store you can find these already cut and washed, and they're called country greens, and you'll need about 48 ounces, which totals 4 bags. I know it seems like a lot, but these really shrink down, so it's not as much as it looks like. The next thing you will need is smoked bacon. This is thick cut bacon, and I have 8 slices in here, and you can cut them with scissors or a knife, but you want to make sure they're chopped up fairly easily. And then you will need a tablespoon of minced garlic. I like to buy the garlic already minced up in the grocery store. So this is just 1 tablespoon of the minced garlic. You will also need 1/2 cup of chopped yellow onion. And you will also need vinegar. I'm going to use probably about 2 teaspoons, which is about 2 capfuls of vinegar. And then I have 1 teaspoon of seasoning salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. The most important ingredient that you will need, I think this adds a lot of flavor to the greens, is chicken stock. Now you can, if you make your own stock at home, you can use that, or I just bought chicken stock already made. You can find it at your local grocery store. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on our range. I like to start on medium-low, and we're going to let it heat up just a little bit. And then the first step that we're going to do is we're going to brown our bacon. So you can take all 8 slices and just add it. Now you want to make sure that you use a big pot like this. I know I said the greens will cook down, but when you first put them in, they're going to cover this whole entire thing until they cook down a little bit. All right, this is starting to brown up really nicely. So now we're going to want to add the chopped onion, and we are going to cook it, saute it with the bacon until it is soft. So I'll add the 1/2 cup of chopped onion. And you just want to make sure you saute that real good with the bacon until the onion is soft and the bacon is browned completely. Okay. This is looking really good. Our onion is getting soft and brown along with our bacon. So it looks like it is time now to add the garlic. So we are going to just add our tablespoon of minced garlic to the onion and the bacon. Now the garlic does not take long to cook here, so what you want to do is just stir it around. Oh yeah, your house should really be smelling good right now. Once you add that garlic, it takes it to another level. All right, I'm gonna give this another minute, and then it'll be time to add our greens. Okay, now we're gonna add our first bag of greens. I'm just gonna go ahead and take it directly from the bag because it's already washed and cut. And now what you want to do is really stir your greens in this bacon and onion and garlic mixture. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. Alright, so it looks like I'm really getting the greens sauteed around in there. So what I'm going to do now is put the top on my greens and let this cook down for a couple minutes, and then we can add the rest of the greens. Okay, so I'm going to add another bag of greens. If you look in the pot, you will see that the greens have cooked down, and you really don't want them cooked down all the way because you want them all the same consistency. So you're going to be adding a bag of greens every couple minutes here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mix the greens around until they're all sauteed. Now what I like to do at this point is, after you add your second bag of greens, you're going to now add some of the chicken stock. And this is 2 cups, and we're going to add it. I just added about a 1/4 cup. And just mix them around a little bit in the chicken stock. And now we're going to add the top back on and let this bag cook down a little bit. Okay, so right now we're going to add the rest of the greens, but before we add them, I'm going to put half of the seasoning in now. So I've added 2 bags of the greens. Now I'm going to add half of the seasoning, and what I do is just grab it with my hand and kind of sprinkle it around. And while you're adding this, or after you add it rather, you're then going to want to stir it around and make sure the seasoning gets on all of the greens. Alright, these are looking really good and cooked down, so we're going to add the rest of the greens. At least 1 more bag to start. Alright, making a mess here, but that's okay. Now we're going to add a little bit more of the chicken stock, about another 1/4 cup, or half cup I should say. Alright, let's stir it around. Again, we want to get all of the seasoning on all of the greens. Starting to look good. All right, now I'm going to put the top back on here, let it cook down, and then I'm going to add my last bag of greens. Okay, we're going to add the rest of the greens and the seasoning, and then we're going to let our greens simmer probably for the next hour or 2. So I'm going to add the rest of the greens. This is looking pretty tasty over here. All right. And now I'm going to add the rest of the chicken stock. And the rest of the seasoning. Make sure I stir it around real good. Right now it looks like enough greens to feed an army, but you will see it's really going to cook down. By the time we're finished, it'll probably be half of this. Alright, this is looking really good and it's smelling really good. So I'm going to add the last little bit of chicken stock. And I'm going to add my vinegar. So it's very important that you do not add the vinegar until the very end. That's the last step that you do. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, which is about 2 capfuls. This little cap's about a teaspoon. So I'm just going to add it here to my greens. Mix it around one last time. All right, these are looking really good here. I am going to put the top on and turn the heat down to low, and you're going to want to let it simmer for about an hour or two. Make sure you check it every 15-20 minutes. Stir it, make sure the seasonings really get into everything. And I think if you really want the meal, the ultimate meal to seal the deal, check out my other videos. This goes great with my fried chicken, my cornbread, and my macaroni and cheese. See you soon.